Markets have closed on Wall Street after a rollercoaster week as the reality of new American tariffs sinks in, while US President Donald Trump rolled back tariffs on dozens of countries. The trade war between the US and China has worsened.
North American correspondent Carrington Clark has the latest from New York.
After one of the most tumultuous weeks here on the New York Stock Exchange in the past few years, we did see some positive activity on the major indexes today. Investors are still trying to digest exactly where we are at in terms of this global trade war. And even though we did see China increase the tariff that they are charging on American goods being imported into China, that figure is now 125%. That is still below the 145% that the US is levying on Chinese goods that are coming this way. But it does appear that perhaps we have reached a stalemate. Donald Trump did not seem interested in retaliating again in kind. Instead, we heard from the White House press secretary that they are most focused now on deal making, not only potentially with China, but also with those dozens of countries who were targeted with those reciprocal higher tariff rates, or so-called reciprocal higher tariff rates, which were then dramatically put on pause by the US president this week. The White House is warning China to not go further, but they say that they are in a strong position to negotiate not only with the world's second largest country, but also other countries around the world.
If China continues to retaliate, it's not good for China. The United States of America is the strongest, best economy in the world, as evidenced by the more than 75 countries who have called the administration immediately to cut good deals.
Now, what we saw today was some worrying economic data out. It suggests that the American people are deeply concerned about the direction Donald Trump is taking the economy, particularly in regards to that global trade war. We saw consumer sentiment collapse, and that would indicate that people are worried about the potential risk of recession, but also they're very concerned about what these tariffs are going to do to the cost of living here in the United States. Joe Biden was tarnished, his legacy was tarnished by the inflation numbers that we saw throughout his presidency. Right at the tail end of his presidency, we did see inflation come down substantially. But the concern now is that these tariffs that have been levied by Donald Trump could see that reverse. So a country that is still grappling with the huge price rises that we did see over recent years is now facing a very uncertain future. The question, of course, is whether or not the US president is paying close attention to that data and whether or not that it will inform his position when it comes to negotiating these new trade deals.